So you have a white lady that's discussing, we bringing up bathing again because, hey, they discussing it and we have to discuss hygiene because you have to understand during the pandemic, you notice they kept focusing on, hey, you need to wash your hands. Hey, before you leave the bathroom, wash your hands. Now that should be automatic, but we have seen there are people in their community, not saying all, we've seen them go to the restroom, whether it's a women's restroom or men's restroom, and go right out and not even wash their doggone hands. Leave out with pissy or poopy hands. We've seen it. And during the pandemic, things are spreading that way. But I want you to hear what this woman has to say, because she says not bathing for some of them is like a whiteness and privilege.
Why do so many white people get on podcasts, get on TikTok, and talk about how their children don't bathe or how they don't bathe? I feel like there's something to discuss here about whiteness and how it is viewed as clean and pure and better and primary and default. And really the history goes to show that white people have always been disgusting. Indigenous people, African people, they were bathing, and they many of them noted that the first sign of Europeans was their stench, that they were just putrid. And I do think a lot of the reason why people of color in America are so clean, smell so good, have to have their hair done, have to have their makeup done, is because of upward mobility, because the standard for them is so much higher than it is for white people. White women can just walk into Target with a messy bun and sweatpants, and it's like, oh, look at her, she could be a multi-millionaire. Her husband could be an entrepreneur. Yet a black woman is not afforded that same luxury. So I really feel like white women are just rubbing that level of privilege in when they go on podcasts or come on TikTok and talk about how their kids don't bathe. That is disgusting. I'm sorry. I grew up taking a bath every single night. My parents brushed my hair every single night, brushed my hair every single morning. It wasn't that big of a deal. When I got older, I was given deodorant and face wash, and that, I have actually been showering twice a day, often, especially in the summer, morning and night showers, especially if I'm pregnant. Sometimes I would shower 3 times a day. Wash yourself. Wash yourself. My sons do not go to bed unless they're clean. I don't want their dirty bodies in their bed, and then every time they get into bed, it's dirty from the day. That's just my own opinion, but I do think that the larger discussion here about whiteness and why white people love to bring it up, love to talk about it. It's like they know somewhere that they are given the power to not have to bathe their kids and still be given so many privileges.
Listen, filth is not privilege. It's not privilege. And you don't do society very good when you walking around filthy. That's why I don't want to eat at nobody's buffet. If you know what I know about buffets and why that's so unsanitary to even eat at a buffet these days, with all these different people with their hands. I told that story before. I'll tell it again. We was in South Africa at Pilanesberg National Park. And they had, after the safari that we went on, it was me and my family, we all went to the restroom because we wanted to wash our hands and, use the restroom, wash our hands. Fine. We did that before we ate. And I sat at the table. I was waiting for my wife and daughters, and they had they said, yeah, I got a buffet, or you can order the menu. I said, okay, I was waiting for my family. So when my wife came and my daughters, I said, okay, you gonna get the buffet? And she said, no, the menu. I'm like, wow, the food look good. And she turned, she said, see that lady over there? And I said, yeah. And she said, that woman went in the restroom and didn't wash her hands. And look, she's at the buffet serving food with pissy hands. I said, oh, no. Okay, I'm cool. I am cool. So the brother came up and he was like, hey, y'all not going to the buffet? And then my wife said, no, because that woman right there with her pissy hands is all in the buffet. I'm good. No, we'll get on the menu. And I was happy. I was happy she said that. My little girl said the same thing. Yeah, Daddy, she didn't wash her hands. So yeah. No. Just order from the menu. If you call that privilege, not washing your doggone hands or not taking a bath is privilege, well, what kind of logic is that? Now she says she takes a shower, which is great, but she needs to probably share that message with the rest of her community. But don't let them don't ever let them project on you about black people are dirty. Black people clean themselves more than any other people I've ever seen. Lotion, wash their clothes, comb their hair, wash their hair. Man, please. We are very clean people, always have been. You got to remember the Moors went to Europe and even taught them how to bathe. Do the research. They didn't bathe like that before the Moors showed up.